Hey, what's up, guys? It's Wes Gardner, Mr. Kamida Hobo himself, and I'm here to tell you about something that our good friends at Audible are offering you fine listeners of Brothering Around. If you go to audibletrial.com/brotheringaround, you get a free 30-day trial of Audible, over 180,000 audiobooks to choose from. If you have something that can listen to Brothering Around, you have something that can get some of the best audiobooks on the planet from your good friends at Audible. So go to audibletrial.com/brotheringaround, get a free audiobook on the house just for signing up for the 30-day free trial. No stipulations, no weird blood pact you have to make. It's your book to keep forever. And guess what? It's from your boys here at Brothering Around. That's audibletrial.com/brotheringaround. Oh, your boy's back at it again. Back at it again. It's episode number 28? 29? One of those 20s. Something. Trying to look at I'm trying to bring up the website right now. But hey, it's Brothering Around. It's your good friends, Wes Gardner, Mr. Kamida Hobo himself, as one of your hosts. And over there, we got Mr. Marco Flores, Nerd in the Bay.
Hello, Wes. This is Howard Finkel.
Oh my God. And in this corner,
Marco's a little preoccupied right now, so he allowed me to
Howard
introduce
Finkel,
the show of Brothering Around.
Wow.
Of episode 28.
Fink, it's such an honor. It's such an honor, Fink, for you to be on the show.
I've been listening to a bunch of podcasts, and they've been doing like Howard Finkel impressions.
God, they are incredible at the Howard Finkel impressions. And the Undertaker, like they nail those. Now I just
be sure to watch out for that choke slam.
Choke slam. Oh, now it makes me need to do my Jimmy Hart, and then
so
it's be all right.
In our downtime, we're gonna work on impressions.
All right, baby.
I'm gonna work on. I'm gonna work on my.
Gotta cover him, Fink. Come on, baby. Me and the Hulkster, we gonna come at you.
Jimmy, this is not Legend's house.
Come on, baby, let's go. We gotta get it. We gotta get it and go. Oh. Yeah, cover,
baby. All right. So that my Howard Finkel is a work in progress.
Dude, that's already pretty solid, because the moment you did it, I was like, oh. And then they make on old school wrestling podcasts, they make fun. For a while there was an announcer in WCW that would say everybody's name with the same cadence. He would say everybody's name like Vader. Like he would do this weird, like almost, if you looked at the sound wave, it was like a camel hump. He would always say like, and you have Scott Steiner. But he would say everybody's name that way. And you're like, this guy's terrible.
Yeah.
Like there's no, everyone sounds the same.
Yeah. I like
I just need to do that at work.
Yeah, I know. I like whoever is the SmackDown announcer. I don't know his name right now, but he always says the same thing. The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Everybody's like, one fall, and then depending who it is, like if it's AJ Styles, they'll say who would like to be referred as the face that runs the place. Like he gives everybody like a nickname, which is pretty cool. So I like that guy.
Is it Justin Roberts?
Over JoJo?
It might be Justin Roberts, because he does Justin Roberts, I think, does that quite
Justin
a bit.
Roberts.
Yeah. Is it him? Because I know
he got let go.
Oh, that's right. Wasn't he the guy that Daniel Bryan choked with a tie back in the day?
Yes, he did. On Nexus debut.
Wrestling history right there.
Mm-hmm. Finkel and Jimmy Hart and Yeah, man.
We got the hot hits.
Yeah.
Speaking of hot hits, this show is going to be a fun one. This episode,
Yeah.
we talked about it before. We got all excited. It's going to be a mix of nostalgia, a mix of me making bad choices. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a very good one.
Isn't that life though? Making bad
That is
choices.
correct. Yeah, absolutely. And then you look back and just shake your head like, man, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
But so you have been once again posting up YouTube videos out the wazoo. Like literally, I think every single day over the past 2 weeks, you have published a video.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been close, man.
I was trying to keep it consistent. I was spacing out my intro to mobile games, and then if there was a story that I wanted to talk about, then I'll definitely would just make a quick video or just make a video and just talk about it.
Yeah.
And make a little flash, put not just my face on on the video, and just show what I'm trying to talk about. So
yeah, man, and like
that's still a work in progress as well.
Yeah, dude, I felt like I was slacking. I was like, God, Marco's bumping out content faster than I can even think about it.
Yeah.
It's good, dude. But you actually had a video recently about a few days ago about a Sega Revival.
Yeah, Sega Revival. So like with that video, that basically the news kind of broke out like I want to say like Monday or something. That Sega had some sort of like whatever quarterly meeting, whatever you want to call it, meeting of some sorts, and said they want to make basically a revival of their past like old titles from now till 2020. Which is pretty cool, up to 2020. So there's gonna be a bunch of games that you will probably see in that span of time from now till 2020. So like the Destructoid article kind of like showcased in like a PDF form, like what their meeting entailed and stuff. So like that's when it said like that's what the Mega Revival was a thing, an actual thing. So like I think with Destructoid they kind of made this article saying that like this is what they want to do, and so they had this like compilation picture of all these old games, like basically Genesis games.
Yeah.
So like I posted it to Wes just now before we started recording, and you're just seeing maybe like a small list of games that may be like a possibility that will come back, right? So like when I made the video, I was like, oh yeah, man. So like I was just saying, like, for me personally, like, Eternal Champions, I would love to see that come back.
Yeah, man.
Just because, like, me, like fighting games, and Eternal Champions was, like, a game that I was playing. Not, like, hardcore, but, like, yeah, it's a fighting game. It's, like, something different and stuff. And then, like, your Streets of Rage, your beat-em-ups and stuff like that. So I think at the time of that video, that's what I was thinking. But like when I look at this list, like there's a lot of games that I would love to come back and and play, right? So
this is like a greatest, and we're looking at it, and I might actually make this picture the background picture for the YouTube archive.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, I could go down this whole list, but some of the big ones, of course, there's Hard Drivin', which awesome game. NBA Jam, of course. Like we talked about, I wish they would have put Tournament Edition on there, but they got Michael Jackson's.
That's still a possibility.
Yeah, they got Michael Jackson's Moonwalker.
Oh yeah.
Of course,
Moonwalker.
Road Rash. Like Road Rash is my jam.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Eternal Champions, hot hit. Castle of Illusion, great with Mickey Mouse. All those Mickey Mouse games during the 16-bit era, ridiculously good. Ghouls and Ghosts, like spot on.
Yeah, man. Ghouls and Ghosts.
Spot on. That was Dark Souls before Dark Souls. Like
it
game.
Was.
That game, man. Let's see.
You couldn't beat it correctly until you had like some sort of item.
That's right. Yeah. And like the benefit of having armor is you could take more hits because as you got hit, your armor would go down, and then you would be in your boxers, running around, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
But of course, you have Altered Beast, you have Aladdin, a lot of the Disney games. You have, of course, every Sonic the Hedgehog, Shinobi, Revenge of Shinobi, Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition, which is like might be the greatest fighting game ever made type of thing. Like in my mind's eye, you have to work real hard to beat Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition.
Mm-hmm.
So, and of course, Phantasy Star 2, 3, and 4. And now the geek part of me, and this will be the second segment, but I'm like, hey, I have a boxed copy of Phantasy Star 3. Great.
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
You know,
you do.
so, but yeah, just solid games. Flashback, Gunstar Heroes. So yeah,
Mhm.
any of these games, I would imagine a lot of these would be on
Yeah.
something like that, because these are the usual games that you would see. You know how at the stores they sell the Sega Genesis with 30 built-in games?
Mm-hmm. Oh
Like,
yeah.
that's what a lot of these are. So
Mhm.
we know they have the rights to do it. Some of them might be a little tricky though. I'm trying to look at like, I'm not actually sure what Capcom's licensing fee is now on old Street Fighter games.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Capcom's kind of stingy about that stuff. If you
Mhm.
ask them on the right day, you'll be good. But
Right.
and then, like, oh god, there was another game I saw up here that the licensing might be.
Mhm.
Oh, Crew Ball, the
Yeah.
Motley Crew based pinball game.
Pinball game. That's right.
So yeah, that might be a little tricky. But I mean, a lot of these would be bang on. I mean, Mortal Kombat 2,
Mhm.
Kid Chameleon. Yeah,
Yeah,
they could
man.
make this work. So yeah, out of all the Sega kind of property type things for this old retro stuff, what is kind of the one that you would want to see? Like, you would hope it would be included.
Yeah, out of the ones that I like, because I looked through these and like Afterburner. Yeah, I would love because I
Yeah,
loved
or any
Afterburner,
of them,
especially
even if it's not on the
especially
list.
yeah, especially like in the arcades where you had the whole like mechanized thing and like you're moving from side to
Oh yeah,
side. That's
for sure.
that type of Afterburner. Something that I would like to see. Dude, I don't know, man. That's a pretty long history of like
Yeah,
Sega games that I don't know. Yeah,
God,
that's a pretty big question. But
I would
again,
think Saturday Night Slam Masters.
sure. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Got to see that one.
yeah.
Uh,
Saturday Night Slam Masters. I'm looking at like Revenge of Shinobi right now.
yeah,
Like it's
dude.
kind of like catching my eyes. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
Joe the Shinobi, because
Joe
his
the
name was
Shinobi.
Joe.
That's right, Shinobi Joe.
His name was Joe out of all
Um,
names. And then like Forgotten Worlds, I remember that game, like that Capcom game.
oh
That was a fun
yeah,
game.
great game.
Um,
Shinobi 3 was hard as balls. I remember that game
yeah,
being a
yeah.
beast. Strider, of course.
Oh yeah,
The
Strider.
deal for
Strider was like
Strider.
the arcade perfect game.
Yes, yes, it was, and it's hilarious because it's that cover is dreadful
Yeah,
because
I know.
he doesn't look like a ninja. He also looks
Mhm.
like he's in a weird floating castle, which maybe that's true, but it looks like an Arabian castle, and that's like, yeah, that doesn't make sense.
It's almost like Fabio in like Wizards and Warriors.
Yeah, someone put him in a shield tank top,
Yeah,
and like he has big like motorcycle combat boots on.
right,
Like, yeah,
right.
this is not a
Yeah,
ninja
man.
from the way I think of it. This is like the
Yeah, man.
1980s Miami Connection version of a ninja,
Exactly.
you know, those old 80s B movies.
Yeah.
Let's see. God, there's some. Oh, let's see. Super Thunderblade. So that was
Super
a game
Thunderblade. Oh
a
yeah, that
lot
was a
like,
good one.
Jungle Strike, Desert Strike,
Mhm.
Urban Strike, a lot of those games. Um, yeah, of course, Streets of Rage. I mean, Streets of Rage 1 has maybe the worst box art I've ever seen in my life. Like, if you look at the
Right.
reactions of people and there's a guy like throwing a cat out of a window, there's just really
Yeah.
weird shit on that cover.
Yeah, and it doesn't match exactly what the game is.
Right, they're
Like
just selling it.
Axel doesn't wear the other guy's gear, like colored swap gear,
Yeah.
and like Blaze is like, why is she wearing all white when she's wearing all red in the game?
Right.
Like, weird decisions like that.
Uh,
Haunting. I'm looking at Haunting and like that was a trap game, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah, because
Yeah,
because you were the bad guy, right?
yeah,
And you
yeah.
had like kind of the house that you had to make these automated AIs like fall
Mhm.
for certain things so you could bait them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, almost like a mousetrap game, I would think. Uh yeah, some of these stuff, and a lot of these I was looking and I was like, I don't think I've ever played like in Sector X. I don't know what that is. But
I think I've seen that. It was like a Gradius type. It was a Gradius
oh,
like
gotcha.
game, I
Like
believe.
a shmup type deal.
Yeah, shmup.
Um,
Yeah, Last Battle is actually Fist of the North Star, but they get like that corny generic cover.
oh, really? Is it an actual, or is it basically they just ripped off the story of Fist of the North Star, or is it an
Pretty
actual?
much,
Oh, gotcha.
it was pretty much Fist of the North Star. Like as you beat
That's
up
cool.
enemies and you level up, you get bigger and get gear and armored up and stuff.
Yeah,
It was a weird like side scroller beat 'em up, like
interesting.
RPG ish
Huh.
game.
And
Yeah.
then, okay, a game that is actually really, really bad, but I played so
Was,
much of it that I kind of have a soft spot, and I would like to play it again, but I don't think I have the
mm,
patience.
what's
So
that?
Troy Aikman came out with a football game,
Oh, yeah.
literally called Troy Aikman Football. It was trying to get
Yeah.
in on the whole Madden shtick, and
Mm.
this wasn't on the quality of like Ken Griffey Jr. baseball. This
Or
was
Joe Montana football.
yeah, or Joe Montana football. This was like dank, not very good. Maybe it is awesome, and I'm giving it a hard time because I remember
Right.
playing the shit out of that game. You know, I think my
Yeah.
uncle bought it for me because it was on sale somewhere because they were like clearancing it out. But oh my god,
Okay.
like a year of my life, probably just playing Troy Aikman football, and being it was during the money time too, man. And you'll know all about this. So it was the
Mhm.
time where the biggest rivalry in freaking sports was the Dallas Cowboys versus the San Francisco 49ers. So
Oh yeah,
that
yeah.
was it. So you got freaking Joe Montana and Jerry Rice versus Troy
Mhm.
Aikman and whoever the hell else was on the team. Like
Oh man, Emmett Smith. Emmett
Emmitt
Smith, I
Smith.
think.
Yes. So
Yeah.
that is the one time. Like I'm not even big into sports anymore, but I remember that be. I had the freaking pennant banners for San
Yeah.
Francisco 49ers. I had a poster of Jerry Rice and like one of the like eat
Yeah.
your vitamins type shit. Like I had all that stuff.
Mhm.
All that 90s era nonsense.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
so good games.
Yeah.
Sega was freaking good.
Yeah, it's a good list. This is a good list. At least if this is the main list of possible games, and it could be like more than what we're seeing now.
Yeah,
It's a pretty good list.
that'd
You
be
know,
a great deal.
you're not even talking about Sega CD sort of like type games and Saturn.
Oh, sure. Oh
You
man,
know,
if
they
they
could be ranging from like those systems too.
then you start putting in stuff like Burning Rangers and Panzer Dragoon.
Yeah,
And start
Guardian
tearing it up, man.
Heroes.
Oh
And,
god, yeah, yeah. You start tearing it up, man.
yeah, man.
Sega's great. What happened?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean,
Ton
fair
of
play.
bad
Fair,
business decisions.
yeah, fair play though. They have Yakuza, so
They do.
not
They
all
do.
bad. Not
all
all
bad.
bad.
Not
They can
that bad.
they can screw up Sonic the Hedgehog all they want. Just give me more Yakuza. You
Yep.
know, like I don't give a shit. I could play the old ones if I wanted a Sonic game.
And you know what? They need to bring back Virtual Fighter. They need to bring
Yes.
that back.
Oh my god, Virtua
And
Fighter
then-
5. Such a good game.
Yeah,
Such a good game.
that's
Like-
as close. That's as close of a perfect fighting game as you can get. But
agree.
that learning curve,
Oh,
that
it's
learning
rough.
curve though, holy shit! If
You
you can
go-
get back past that,
Yeah.
yeah,
You
you're good.
you go against those Japanese players online,
Right,
no chance.
right.
Like your everyday kind of casual Virtua Fighter player would be a freaking esports legend compared to, you know what I mean? Like, and those are
Mhm.
just the guys that would just hang out and play Virtua Fighter. And they could pick any
Dude.
character on the roster and you would not get a hit out. Like
Yeah,
you wouldn't get a hit off. God, those guys are
Yeah,
crazy
man.
good. And you
Dude,
knew the moment because
virtual.
oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh no, I was gonna say a Virtual Fighter player named Fudo won a Evo Street Fighter 4 tournament, and his main game is Virtual Fighter. Like, what the hell is that?
That's
Like,
crazy.
I know, like, I'm pretty sure, like, he played Street Fighter as well, but his main game was Virtual Fighter. So, like,
That's nuts.
you
man.
win Evo and you win all these Street Fighter 4 main superstars, and playing the game, and
Yeah.
a Virtual Fighter player is able to beat them. Like, it's crazy.
That's nuts. And yeah, that's almost like, oh, I don't really speak this language, but I guess I'll translate the Bible or something.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, what? Like, that's
Yeah,
outrageous.
yeah.
That's just insane talent, you know? And but yeah,
Yeah.
because you could customize your character in Virtua Fighter 5 and you could go online. So
Yeah.
you could deck out your guy with like a fur coat and like look all badass.
Right.
And then you knew you were in trouble whenever you were playing online. A Japanese name popped up, and out walks the fighter looking exactly the fucking same as the arcade version of the fighter. They didn't touch it. They didn't make his shoes red. They didn't do anything. They didn't touch it because they don't have time for that shit. They
just rather play rather than
they need to destroy you in Virtua Fighter. Like, that's why they exist. Oh, my heart would sink. I would like set down the controller. I'm like, all right, this isn't gonna go well.
You can go ahead.
Oh man, but yeah, Sega. During that Genesis era, I mean, for the kids that weren't around, I don't think they can understand what that time was like.
Dude.
Like, genuinely, I don't think they can understand, because technology was changing so much. The internet did not exist yet, so you got all of your news from video game magazines
and such.
So you just spent weeks looking through these pictures, like, oh my god, I can't wait to play that. I need to save up my allowance money and go to the store, and next time we go to the store, I need to see if they have this on the shelf.
Yeah.
And
or rent the game.
Go to Blockbuster, go to Movie Gallery, go to these rental places, because there were so many of them back then. And if they were cool places, they would have the new games. But what you would get used to is you would know the stores that would have the older games that not a lot of people went to, because they're usually cheaper. It's usually cheaper to rent those games. So you get a lot more game for a lot less money. And oh yeah, man, it was such a weird time, because technology was getting crazy, and then entertainment technology was kind of the cool thing. So you had you know, on the Today Show, they still kind of have, oh, here's the Switch, here's the new Xbox One. But there was nothing like seeing some kids playing like Super Nintendo in front of a giant Christmas tree saying, this is the hot thing for Christmas. Like, this is the one. Nowadays, it's like, oh yeah, the new video game system's out, be sure to go buy it. But this was like, look at these graphics. And they would play something like Super Hang-On or like Outrun. And they're like, look how realistic this looks. Holy shit. Like, even the people, you know, the Al Rokers of the world would be like, I've never seen anything like this in my life. Like, they would just be flipping their wigs. And like, yeah, so everyone was on board. Like, Burger King would, you know, that their value meal was kick-ass because it gave you a Mario toy, like, which they're doing again. But, you know, that was it, man. Video games were it. But now it's not like that. Like, it's part of the culture, and like now, you know.
Yeah, it's part of the norm now.
Yeah, it's part of the norm, but there was nothing like it back in the 90s. There was nothing like it. It took over everything. It took over the world. And I think that's also why I'm probably going through my nostalgia phase of like, maybe I need to own some boxed Genesis and Super Nintendo games. Maybe I need to go down that path and you know, start collecting for these systems. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. Kind of reliving that golden era. And because that's the stuff that you just knew a lot about it. Because we would just dedicate ourselves to reading the magazine coverage and just going to the rental store and just playing the same one game for weeks. It's just not like that anymore. The games come out so frequently. There's so many good ones. There's so many bad ones. Like, you just had to take the gamble before, you know. If you played a cool game, I remember going to the arcade and playing Mortal Kombat 3. And then the fact that I learned that they would release it for the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo, I was beside myself. I was like, you're telling me I can play this game at home?
On both, Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Same thing with Street Fighter.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
When that first came out, like, oh yeah, I can play Street Fighter at home. I don't have to put in quarters.
Yeah, well, this is bargain of the century. I'm gonna save so much money. Like, and you did, you know? And I remember going to in Kingsland, Georgia, there's a place called Sam's Skate World. And it was a skating rink.
Okay.
And all they had was a Street Fighter Tournament Edition arcade cabinet.
Nice.
That's all they had. But that was the only game you needed. Because we went fucking
Everybody
crazy.
was on there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We would dedicate like, oh, hey, Friday evening, cancel all your plans. Everyone's meeting up, all 12 of us. Yeah, we're playing Street Fighter. Bring your quarters. If you got $1, go up to the nice lady and have her break that dollar for you to get some quarters.
Mm-hmm.
That was it, man. And then at school on Monday, you would talk trash about what happened at the Street Fighter fights.
Yeah.
I mean, that was it, dude. And the whole, like I said, the whole thing has changed. And unless you were there, unless you kind of lived through it and really absorbed that culture, I don't think video games will ever get there again. Just because it's past. Like, it's kind of faux pas now.
Yeah. You have online now, and
yeah, you have online and
comfort of your own home, and
yeah.
I mean, you can sort of do it with like local tournaments, but if you are into that, or if you're that into that game and into the scene, or you want to get into the scene,
yeah.
So like, if Initial D, the racing game, is your jam, like you have to find online like
That's
where
right.
the Initial D spots are,
And you got to join
like in your area.
Yeah, the Facebook group for Initial D video game fans,
or
you know what I mean?
Or Discord now.
Yeah, Discord. You get in a public Discord of people that, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you can find the communities, and communities are set up for everything, but it's just not.
Yeah.
It's almost like the thing exists, so now there's a community. But back in the day, that's all you had. So you built a community around it.
Everybody gathered at the arcade where they know is an arcade, and whatever their game is they're playing, and then you'll see the everyday people. You'll see like, oh hey, what's up?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna take you out this side. I know you're not, dude. I know this new tech.
Yeah, I've been studying this one, and like the same thing would happen at like Blockbuster.
Yeah,
everyone would be there Friday nights, man. Everyone. If you were anybody, you were at Blockbuster on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Getting
just like
random.
You can
shit.
rent the good game before everybody else.
And see, that was the other secret, is what were those rentals? They usually said a week, but they recommended you bring it back like in 5 days or so.
Yeah.
Because after that you start accruing a late fee. And then so the secret was go in the Wednesday, because that's when people are returning their games.
Yeah.
And then you get first dibs, but then people started wising up,
Yeah.
People got real, and they understood how the racket worked. But yeah, all that stuff, the whole different culture around it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy now that we're here now, and you could just sign up for GameFly, and then you'll just get games coming to you, or
video games monthly. I'm getting retro. I'm getting retro games sent to my fucking house every single month.
Yeah.
I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
It's awesome. But it's also like, it's so different. I mean, tell me, if 8-year-old you knew you recorded a video game podcast for the entire world to listen to.
A video game radio show?
Yeah. That you were on global radio.
Yeah.
Talking about video games, and people were listening.
Right.
No way.
Nah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have believed you.
Mm-mm.
Wouldn't have believed you.
Not happening.
All right.
It's crazy. And we have like sponsorships. Like people sponsor us to talk about shit. You know what I mean? Like, what? So bizarre.
Like, you mean to tell me I'm a double Z tier YouTube celebrity?
Yeah. Wait, hold on a minute.
Double Z, maybe triple Z.
Yeah. But... Audible, literally.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm so on not a level that, but they found it worthy. You know what I'm saying? So it's whatever. You want to sponsor, that's A-okay, man.
Yeah, man, for sure.
So but just, and that kind of ties into what my deal, because it all kind of ties into retro and collecting and stuff like that. So
you're starting your journey in a sense.
Starting that journey. And yeah, I'm definitely getting into game collecting. I got a retro system that plays regular Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. And now it's getting to the point to where it can actually become a thing. Because now I'm getting, Twitter friend requests and Facebook shout outs and all that stuff from people that really know how this racket is run. So, do Video Games Monthly. I get games sent to me every month. We're always going to do unboxing videos. We're going to take a look at what we got. But, I imported 2 games. And I'm not going to say what the games are because I'm going to do a video on it. So, to kind of reveal. But, yeah, importing 2 Japanese games. I can't even play. I've played them before. But I just wanted a pristine copy of these 2 games. And Japanese copies were the best way to go. And I was even talking to other collectors, and they're like, oh, if all you want is just the game, and you're already still playing it through emulation or whatever anyway, just get the Japanese copy. Because it was legally you're covered for copyright because you own the game. Yeah. And even nowadays with systems, did you know this? The Retron 5, you know how they have those Retron retro systems?
Yeah.
The Retron 5 basically works through emulation. So you put your real cartridge in, and then what it does is it downloads the ROM onto the system's RAM. So you're playing an emulated version of the game. So it does high def, it does up to 1080p. So it looks perfect, it looks beautiful. But the thing that blew me away, and I was like, oh shit, now I gotta buy one of these, is you can have a Japanese copy of a game, put it in, and then it asks, would you like to download an English translation patch for this?
Hell yeah.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
And what we were talking about before the show, you can get really rare RPGs. And I mean Tactics Ogre. You can get Bahamut Lagoon, which didn't even come out here in America.
It didn't even come out here.
Final Fantasy VI, Chrono Trigger. You can get Breath of Fire 1 and 2. $10. $10. In box. So you're telling me I can get an actual copy of Breath of Fire 2, put it in my Retron, and that shit is going to turn into English. So I spent $10 on a $90 video game. That is deal of the century. So I did.
Man. That's good, man.
So talking on that level, right? Now today I did a faux pas. I did something. Whenever I told you I did this, you laughed.
Yeah, blasphemy.
But it is blasphemy. So there's a certain level as a gamer that you get to that what I'm about to say, it's going to make your skin crawl. It's going to make it, you're going to seize up a little bit. You might dry heave. I understand. People start getting sick as I say what I did. Ugh. So I got a GameStop Power Up rewards card.
That's still funny. It's so funny. You're in it a second time. You what?
I got the fucking GameStop discount card.
Oh man.
So a lot of you are probably baffled right now. I know Marco is. So
I'm looking forward to those Game Informers you're gonna get.
Yeah. I actually asked for the physical ones too, because I want to show that shit. I want to show it.
Yeah.
So
Game Informer unboxing.
Yeah. Oh, let's see what has happened on page 37. Who?
Reaction videos to reviews.
Yeah. Oh my god! I don't even read what it says. I'm just looking at the magazine, and I'm like, oh, and then that's it. It's 4 minutes long. I don't even mention what I'm reading, and then I just shut the camera off. It'll be quality, top tier YouTube content.
There you go.
So here's the reason why. And to affirm this actually happened today. They are not making Wii U games anymore.
Okay.
It's the Switch.
Yeah.
They're doing crazy clearances on Wii and Wii U games. You save additional on clearance stuff with that power-up reward card or whatever.
Okay.
The 2 games I bought today almost paid for the entire card based on how much money I saved.
Oh, interesting.
So this is also, and then what I did is I got them and I was like, this seems like a pretty good deal. I was looking, it's a complete in-box copy. I was like, I mean, not a bad game. I never played it. I have a Wii U that can play Wii games. All you need is the nunchuck and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I can play these games. And then I looked, and it was cheaper than what you can find it on Amazon or eBay.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I started. I was like, wait a minute. When did this happen? When did GameStop's used games start being decent values? Like, because it's a perfect condition. I have a full box copy, and I'll tell you what it is. It's Metroid Other M.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
the Metroid game. So it's like 2D, and then you go to 3D Metroid Prime mode and stuff. Dude, I got this thing for like $6.
That's good.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then it has the full book. It even has the like sign up for the Nintendo Club thing that comes inside of it. So I'm like, okay, if I'm wanting to make a big deal about collecting box copies of games that are good games, let me start with that one. It's $6. It's complete. The disc is in perfect condition. Hell yeah, I'll take that bet. And then, but I was looking around, and the same thing for PS3 stuff. I mean, they had Yakuza 4 for like $11.
On GameStop price?
Yeah.
The GameStop reward price. Okay.
Yeah, the reward. So, I mean, brand new, you could digitally download it for $20. But I was like, okay, for a perfect box copy with manual, with all that stuff, for about half the cost of a digital version, that's a fair play. Like, it's not outrageously expensive. But of course, I would not get, usually PS4 used games are pretty pricey. But I mean, we got
so early on, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, hell, we got Lego Harry Potter, the collection of all the, because fiance's big Harry Potter fan, and those Lego games are all really good. We got it for like $22.
Nice. Okay.
All right. So yeah, whenever I was in the store, I was like, wait a minute, this might actually be kind of worth it, because I would maybe buy one used game a month from GameStop, just as like a supplemental to my collection. And, if I'm spending $15 and then I save $2 or $3 here and there, yeah, why not? So for me and what my needs are, that's great, but I'm never going to trade in games. I don't care about pre-ordering. None of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, nah.
Yeah.
That doesn't interest me. If I'm going to pre-order, I'm going to pre-order off of Amazon, because they're going to give me 25% off anyway, because I'm an Amazon Prime member. And I'll get the game on launch day.
Yeah.
So
I usually, when it came to me, I usually pre-ordered, because it's like, at least when it came to Street Fighter, there was usually like a costume, like a pre-order costume that they would bring out, and then Amazon had one, and Best Buy had one. GameStop usually had the one that I wanted, so that's where I would just go just put in $5 so I can get that pre-order costume and stuff.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Get the thing you want, right?
Yeah, and I mean, and here's the deal with collecting. And so far, I mean, I'm way early in the collecting game, but something that I've learned, because this is kind of collecting for everything. So if you're into stamps or coins or rocks, like whatever you collect, if you know what you're getting and you're paying a fair price, what's the problem? You know what I mean? Like that. So you kind of have to look, and and I mean, like gamers like you and I, we're kind of young grizzled vets, so we know what to look for. Joe Gamer, everyday Joe Gamer doesn't really give a shit if the booklet's in good condition, and they just want to play games, and fair play, like go for it. But since I'm kind of dabbling into the other side of, okay, let me see what good deal I can get. Like, let me go in specifically looking.
I mean,
yeah.
Any way to get a deal, right? No matter if it's like GameStop rewards or like going to a flea market.
Bingo. Yes.
What have you?
To throw the baby out. Yeah. To throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Kind of drop your pride. Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta get over yourself. Like, oh, GameStop, blah. But then,
yeah.
But who knows? What if Joe Gamer down the street has a freaking great condition copy of Persona 5, and he just needs to get rid of it because he needs rent money, or he wants to use that to pre-order the next game he wants to play because he already beat it. Now, I can get a mint condition of Persona 5 for $10 less than I can get it anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? With a physical stuff, and yeah, it may not come with all the DLC, if that's even a thing for Persona 5, I'm not sure. But once again, if you see it and you're like, let me check the prices at 4 or 5 other places, because that might be a really good deal. And then you're on your phone and you look it up real quick and you're like, yeah, let me take that. Let me get the extra 10% off. You know what I mean? And like, you never know. Those Game Informer magazines might have a buy one, get one half off coupon.
Sure,
and then you go load up. So yeah, the reason why I got one of those is exactly, you kind of swallow your pride and you realize it might be a good idea just to have this. Because you never know what you're going to find. You never know. Like, I couldn't tell you the last time I remembered Metroid Other M was a video game, much less, like, wanted to own it. But then I saw it, and I was like, wait a minute. I could get this. It's in beautiful condition. Like, not a scuff on it. This could almost be factory sealed.
Nice.
For $6. I'm like, hell yeah, man. Like, right now it's going on eBay for about $12.99, $14.99. So, yeah, made out pretty well.
That's good, man.
So, but I find that part of this hobby really interesting now. Like, the collecting aspect of it, because, okay, and, you know, I kind of got some Twitter hate from getting Phantasy Star 3. People are like, that game is shitty. And I was like, sort of, but it's the black sheep of the family as far as Phantasy Star. But it's a great condition. The cart looks stellar. It's a Phantasy Star game. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, a bad game in a great series is still a pretty good game.
Yeah.
And hey, you got to start somewhere. And, you know, I even like collecting I like the fact that Video Game Monthly sends the loose carts. Because, yeah, whenever we move into our new place, which we're planning on doing by the end of the summer, we're going to make, hopefully, a game room, like an office area. Nice. And, like, let's display that shit. Let's show it off.
For sure, man.
Because, you know, you know me, man, I'm so high and mighty on Steam and digital stuff because it doesn't take up any room. Yeah. So, I mean, I have games to play, but now this is something different. This is more like, let me build a library. Let me build something that you can look at and, like, actually display. And I think it's neat because you never know what stuff's going to be worth either. I mean, if you look back and, you know, people will... Someone gave me beef, but they were joking because they liked all the videos I was doing. But like the Video Game Monthly box, he was like, "Oh, you became a real YouTuber because now you're excited about stuff that people find in their closet." You know, which is fair play. Like, it made me laugh.
That's fair.
Yeah, and I was like, "Sure, man," because a loose cartridge of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Yeah, people probably have that at their grandparents' house somewhere.
Yeah,
you know.
Right.
But then you look, and that shit's worth $8 or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, hey, there's a value to that thing.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the start of like becoming like a collector's, attitude and stuff, man. Just scrounging around.
You just got to find the deals, man. And yeah, I did import the 2 games. I'm not gonna give away what they are. I'm gonna do a video because I'll be really proud once I get them. One of them should be coming next week. The other one, the other one was the email I got was very Japanese. And it was saying like, eBay doesn't tell the truth on shipping. Please wait for Japanese shipping. Oh yeah, and it was all broken English and stuff, but it was fantastic. Funny. I was like, this is also part of the experience. Like getting the customer service survey in Japanese of it saying like, please don't get angry if it takes 2 months for your game to show up.
Yeah.
It's like, God bless. Yeah, sure. Send it. It's fine. I'll be here.
Did an African prince email you? And...
Yes, please. To whom it may concern.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's part of it, and I'll be really stoked to show it off. And so yeah, I'm trying to figure out what kind of collector I want to be, though, because kind of the worst thing you can be is just a collector of everything, because then you're going to spend a whole bunch of money on shit.
Yeah.
So it's more like what I would love to do, but of course, me being me, it's the most freaking expensive subsect of collecting you could possibly do. And I'm like,
yeah,
what if I get Japanese role-playing games from the PlayStation 1 era?
Shit.
Yeah, dude. Used Lunar Eternal Blue is $169.
Oh, man.
Fuck. Like, God, dude. I talked about it like last week whenever we were getting the games for the game shopping video I did.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have a perfectly mint copy of Suikoden 2. It had the book, it had the game, there wasn't a scuff on the case, nothing. If you look on freaking eBay right now, that shit is going for like $700 and some odd in mint condition. I mean, to be fair,
yeah.
I got $200 cash for it. So I didn't make out too bad. But like looking at it now, if only.
Yeah. Dang,
you know what I mean?
Geez.
But yeah, of course. And even the Final Fantasies used for greatest hits labels is like $40. Which is doable. You get one of those a month, and then you build your collection over a year. But it's like
a stockbroker. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You're looking at the ebb and flow and like, what's this worth? Yeah. What's the value? And what's the going rate? And then just because somebody has a close it or buy it now thing for $60, is it really worth $60, or is it really going for $18? And you just have to shop around. Like, there's this weird like salesman haggle thing that is just really interesting about this hobby. And that's why, I see something like Metroid Other M, and I was like, I don't own that game. I probably should, and it's in great condition, and it's $6. Let's do this. Like, let's pull the trigger. Yeah. There's something fun about that, because it's not even a thrill of the chase. It's just like, you feel smart for finding a good deal.
Right. Yeah. There you go.
It's like finding the perfect car on Craigslist. You know what I mean? Like, you just happen upon it, and you're like, what? This guy has a...
How did I get this?
Yeah, like a 1-year-old car. Like, I'll always say, my fiance is super lucky. She got a year-old with, like, 6,000 miles on it. I'm like, that's as close to brand spanking new for a car as you can possibly get.
Yeah.
Because 8,000 miles is barely, like, driving it around the lot. You know what I mean? People just took it for 2 or 3 test drives, and that's it. It had one owner. Like, oh my God, it's a beacon of hope. You look at it and you're like, oh, that's a perfect deal, and got amazing financing, all that stuff. I was like, that's the best it could have possibly been. So there's stuff like that for game collecting, because you're like, okay, someone's trying to sell me a copy of Fable or something for like $40, I'm gonna laugh him out of the building, because that game's worth like $5.99. But a collector's edition sealed, if they want $40, I'll give it to them in a heartbeat, because that shit's worth like $300. You know what I mean? So there's that balancing act of figuring out what's a good deal and what's not, and I just find that infinitely fascinating.
That's interesting.
And then you also have to think, the reason why I signed up for Video Games Monthly is they're sending me freaking Nintendo games, Super Nintendo games, and Sega Genesis games. There is a finite supply of those games.
Yeah, so you better like either request those now, or like put that on your wish list almost right away.
Exactly.
So you have a better chance of getting the one you wanted to get. Yeah.
So that's why I made a list. I think each system had like 35 or 40 games. Not because those are all the best, hottest, coolest, rarest games. I didn't even put a lot of rare games on there. I put a few just to see. But I put stuff that I was like, okay, what would I like to own and what do I have a realistic chance of getting? You know, because I think that's fair to think like, oh, my wish list, I want a sealed copy of the first Star Ocean. It's like, yeah, I bet you do.
Jeez.
You fucking guy, I bet you do. They wouldn't send it. Like, if they had it, they would not send it to me. They wouldn't send it to my ass. Like, no way. But you know, they'd use it as a giveaway or some promo thing. But a loose copy of Breath of Fire 2, maybe. You never know. It's you know, that game by itself, I spend like, I think $40 a month on the game thing, and they've so far for the first month they've been right on the money. It was like $39 worth of games. So you know, but that game by itself is $20, $30. So if they wanted to send me Breath of Fire 2 and like 4 other kind of shitty games worth $1, that's fine. That box still paid for itself, you know?
You got your Breath of Fire.
Yeah, exactly. I got my wishlist game. So, yeah, it's like playing the odds almost. It's almost like that lottery that I know I'm going to get something I don't already have. So it's fulfilling that need of like building a collection. And then I might luck out and get something I really want. That's bonus. Like, to me, that's bonus. Hey, if I get some rare RPGs, I'll flip out, and that's amazing. But that's not what I'm after. I'm after just building a collection of video games. I want to have them. I want to display them. Even if they're not the best games. It's still just a cool thing to show and be like, here is some history of video games that I grew up with. Yeah, I put like Mickey Mouse Capade. I think that game's literally worth $1.50. But I was like, I grew up on that game, so I want it.
Yeah.
Like, give me that game. I want to replay it and remember being 7 years old. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so have you ever gotten that itch about like collecting, or like were you ever big into like special editions, or is your version of it kind of like the DLC? Like, here's a limited DLC for a game that I know I'm going to play. You know, I want to track this down. I want to ensure that I get that costume or that, you know, item or that set of whatever. Like,
I think for me, like collecting is not a part of, like, in terms of video games, collecting is not there right now. Maybe in the future, but not as of right now. Not right now, because like I don't have the space to put whatever. Like, say I do want to collect, but I don't have the space to put it anywhere. Yeah. Considering my like current living situation. So right now, like that's a no. But like in terms of other stuff, like you know, I collect like the Street Fighter comic books, like paperbacks, right, to get the whole story. Because
gotcha. Yeah.
So like I buy like the hardcovers and I buy like the soft covers just so I can get the whole story and see what they're trying to, you know, show and tell me. And there's still a bunch of Street Fighter books that I still need to get. So I'll do that because it's a part of like me like wanting to read the story, and another part of that is somewhat collecting, because I think I posted like an Instagram like picture like a long time ago saying like, this is my Street Fighter comic collection. Safe to say I like Street Fighter. Sort of a post, and you know, people were digging it and like yeah, that's pretty cool. That's cool that you got all of those. Like you are a fan. So yeah, but like with games, in that example of like getting the DLC costume, like it just made that reason was because I wanted that costume for my main character, and that was that. I'm not so much of like I have to have all of them just so I can have all of them. I mean, if it's possible, sure, if I could get it in a bundle, which I've had before, but you know, it's not so much of a priority. Not so much of a priority that I get everything, but if I do have like a somewhat a priority in terms of getting like a costume or DLC of some sort, I want to get it for the character that like I'm into or that I like. Gotcha. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. So, I mean, but that makes sense. And I think you bring up a good point about almost showing that you're like a super fan. Like that you're a legit, like, yes, I like this enough that I collect the comic book. And people are like, oh shit, I didn't know they made a comic, or, you know, whatever. And it's kind of that.
Oh yeah, I want to support their like endeavor or whatever. Or
exactly.
Like to support the company or something.
Yeah, and I feel that way about certain like I'm always going to be a huge Blade Runner fan. Like anything Blade
Yeah.
Runner, I'm just probably going to buy it. I mean, it's just that's the
Mhm.
way it is. Um and like the same thing for certain, yeah, like I'm a huge Breath of Fire fan. So any
Right.
sort of Breath of Fire stuff I can get, the better. And and like I could go buy I need to get me like a sealed copy of Breath of Fire Dragon's Quarter, like the game that
Mhm.
everybody hated, but I think it would
That's
be cool
right.
to,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it would be really cool to own a sealed copy of that and be like, yeah, I got this. Like,
Mhm.
sure, everybody's value proposition for it may not be very high. Like, oh, well, you got a sealed copy of a crappy game. But I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm a huge Breath of Fire fan. So,
Or
uh,
even take a look at it at some point.
yeah, and automatically that value for me goes up exponentially
Yeah.
because and I mean it's one of those things like Breath of Fire 3, I need to repurchase it for PS1. I used to own it. I've actually owned that game 4 times.
Mhm.
But I need to rebuy it because I sold off my old copies and stuff like that. But I'm even thinking about getting the PSP version that only released in Europe and
Oh, okay.
just to have it because that was my
Yeah.
actual that true story. That was my very first import game ever. Was Breath of Fire 3 for the PSP because PSP is not region locked.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
you
right,
could
right, right.
play Japanese and European UMDs on the American
Yeah.
system, and they didn't bring it out in America. So I just imported Breath of Fire 3 for my PSP, and I was like, hell
Mhm.
yeah. So I had that version. I want to buy it again because it's still dirt cheap. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I might just be a Breath of Fire super fan. And then,
Mhm.
Star Ocean, same way. Um, Final Fantasy, not as much, just because these games lately aren't very good
Mhm.
to me.
Yeah.
They just kind of missed the mark. But like PS1 era, cool buddy. Like
Yeah.
thankfully, I still have my limited edition steelbook case of Final Fantasy 12 whenever that came out.
Mhm.
I still got that. I still got the hardbound strategy guide for it. So that's stuff I didn't get away because I just love that game so much. I was like, I need to own this stuff. And like Metal Gear
Yeah.
Solid 3, I have the full Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence uh, special edition with the red cover.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have all that, which that goes actually for a few $100 now, I think.
Mhm.
So I have just really stuff that I had in storage, just stuff that I have around. But now I'm like, maybe I should start
Yeah.
embracing it again, because of that exact thing. Like,
Yeah.
they're going to make some cool stuff about it, and it'd be nice to display it and just kind of get
Yeah.
back into feeling like you own the games. Because I love digital, doesn't take up any room, just a hard drive. But at a certain level, you don't feel like you own the game.
Mhm.
Like, and I mean, technically, when you own the game like a physical copy, what if the game requires a patch and they take off the servers? Like, now you just have a
Yeah.
paperweight,
Yeah.
but you have a paperweight you can look at,
Mhm.
which is different. Digital games you can't look at. You just kind of scroll through your list, and then you're like, oh, that's a
Yeah.
good game. And what I need to do, and I think they make it for the Apple, like for a Mac, but there's a way
Mhm.
that you can import your library, whether it's like CDs or books or games, and then it makes a physical, well, almost like a digital bookshelf that,
Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah, that you can kind of like look at all of your stuff.
Mhm.
I think something like that'd be pretty cool, but I don't think they make it for Windows. They should.
Mm.
But yeah,
Okay.
just to see
Yeah.
the stuff and just be like, yeah, Good Old Games does that.
Mhm.
GOG.com. Whatever you buy there, they put in like your digital library, and then whenever you look at it, it's set up like a bookcase. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Cool. Cool.
So yeah, pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Oh,
don't
I
know.
wanted to ask
Yeah,
you. I
yeah.
wanted to ask you. Because you're a Breath of Fire fan. Did you ever get the art book for it?
No, but I
Have you
saw it,
seen that
and
art book? I think
yeah,
Udon has either
yeah,
Udon
Udon.
has it or like it's just. I know I've seen it in my Japantown
Yeah.
in San Francisco. They usually have like, you know, when you go to their bookstore, they have like art books of like all the video games and stuff. And I believe I saw Breath of Fire there. I think
Oh,
the cover
dude.
was like all the reuse, like in
Yeah.
one picture.
Oh man. That would be
Yeah,
sick.
I mean that'd be something you should. I mean, if you ever come across it, I don't know if you have a Japantown in your area, but
No, we don't. And here's the thing: like, I can look if next time you're there, you want to check the price of it. I could
uh,
like PayPal you money.
oh, for sure,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? And like because
yeah.
we know that
If
one
I
would be
remember to say like I see it and like, oh yeah, Wes likes it,
yeah,
so
dude.
I'll send it to you and then yeah, man.
I'll PayPal you money plus shipping plus like a $5 finder's fee. Just like yeah, dude. You know what I'm saying? Because I would
Finder's
trust it to
fee.
be yeah, it would be in way better condition than if I bought it just randomly off of Amazon.
Yeah,
So yeah, but just stuff like that, and that's part of the fun too. Is like, yeah, you're
yeah,
over there near San Francisco to where like you guys got retro game places out the wazoo. You can probably find some
right, yeah,
really rare shit.
yeah,
So like if I had a wish list and I'm like, if you eyeball this dude, call me and I will send you PayPal money right then. You know what I mean? Like
uh,
that, get that going.
yeah, for sure, man.
Because that's the fun of it is like really doing outreach. And I mean some of these
Yeah.
guys on YouTube that really do the big collections and stuff, they
Oh,
got
they would
people.
have to have people that like eyes on the ground to
Oh,
look for that
absolutely,
sort
they
of
have
thing. They
street
would have
teams
to.
everywhere.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah.
like, oh, hey, man, I was in a Half Price Books in Austin, Texas, and I know you're in Norway right now, but I wanted to text you and see if you needed the sealed copy of this big box PC game.
Mm,
And then people are like, yeah,
yeah,
thanks. And then they're like, okay, cool, I'll buy it. Just PayPal me the money.
yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
It's as simple as that.
But yeah, it's awesome. I mean, that's really cool because then there's like almost nothing off limits. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
You could have the most ridiculous need. And there's a guy on YouTube that I actually follow, and I highly recommend his channel. If you type in the immortal John Hancock,
Oh,
that
okay, you
dude,
mentioned him
yeah,
last
that dude is
episode.
one of the nicest, most genuine guys in the world. He owns over 35,000 video games.
Jeez.
His goal is to have his family and kind of inherit that, and then he
Hmm.
will donate it to the Smithsonian. Like
Wow.
that's his goal. Is like here is video
Wow.
games. Like
Yeah.
the entire history he has. I don't even know how he has this. He has a complete. I want to say it's a complete sealed North American Sega Genesis collection.
Oh, wow.
Every single game, all like 815 games. What the
Oh,
fuck?
sealed and never opened, huh?
How in the world? You know what I mean? Like the odds of that happening are so astronomically low.
Yeah.
That's fascinating to me. I was like, how did you get this? Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And some of the stuff he has the copy. It's funny. It's one of his things he's most proud of is in his Genesis collection.
Mhm.
Is it's a copy of Shaq Fu, and he's like, here's a sealed copy of Shaq Fu, and he was like, but
Mhm.
here's the thing, and he turns it over, and it has an autographed, signed
I knew
copy
it.
of
From Shaq.
from Shaq, but it's his rap album.
Oh, nice.
So, dude, that automatically it makes it from the worst thing ever to like one of the
Yeah.
most
The
sought
best.
after
Yeah.
items in video game history. And I was like, oh my god, he has it. And like
Oh
another
man,
thing that he
Superman
has,
himself, Shaq Diesel.
it's Jack Diesel, Big Daddy. And
Yeah.
what's great is there's even a game that he has for the Sega Master System, and
Uh-huh.
he ended up somehow through God knows how, he ended up getting the exact same version of the Sega Master System game that he played growing up because he bought it
What?
from the owner of the rental
Uh-huh.
store.
Wow.
And it had been that he said it was like 20 years had passed, and it even has the same rental store sticker on it.
Nice.
And I was like, God, he's on a
Awesome, man.
different, yeah,
Yeah.
dude, he's on a different level of collecting. Like, he
Yeah.
got the exact copy of the game he played growing up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's unreal. Like, once again, the odds of having that happen. Like, I need to learn all of this guy's secrets just through osmosis. Just like, how is he able to track this stuff down? But he would have to have a street team
Oh,
just
yeah, I would think so.
looking everywhere. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that dude's YouTube channel is amazing. And he's a super smart guy. He's super genuine. Like he's a family man. Super cool.
Mm.
The entire bottom. I think he has like a 3-story house. The entire bottom story is just video games, but
Oh, geez.
it's all like libraried out. So it's in
Yeah.
alphabetical order, and then it's basically stuff built into the walls. And you just
Mm.
look at his collection, and you're like, "Jeez."
Dang.
Um,
Yeah, I can imagine.
it's just, yeah, he's on another level. Even all of the other collectors on YouTube are like, yeah, this guy's a legend. He's
Mm.
an actual, like, he is the guy that we all aspire to be. Um, but yeah, it's a cool hobby. Like it's
Mm.
something that I don't know exactly how deep down the rabbit hole I'm gonna go. I do
Yeah.
think I do think I'm gonna get the games I played growing up. I think that's a very
Mm.
important part of it. I do think I'm gonna try to get some stuff maybe off the beaten path. Like here's a weird version of this game that came out like
Right.
sponsored by 7 Up or something. Like just weird random stuff I think would be fun. Um but yeah, I think it's yeah, I'm about to send Marco, I'm about to send you a picture of this guy's collection.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Through Discord. So, but yeah, so guys, just go and check out the immortal John Hancock if you just type that in to
Oh,
to
geez. Okay.
that's one room. And
That's
as you can
one
see,
wall.
that's one wall. That's his Nintendo 64 collection.
That's crazy.
So yeah, the guy's the real deal. Uh, and he has sealed copies of bundle packs of Super Nintendos. Like,
Mm.
what the fuck? How do you get this? But he admits, like, if he started collecting today, he wouldn't have 1/1000th of what he has. He was like, it's
Yeah.
too expensive. He was like, I actually just had this stuff because I bought it when it was new.
Yeah.
And I just never opened it. And then he brought up a good point, and that's kind of why I started looking at Wii games. Is he's like, now nobody wants Wii games. Nope,
Mm.
nobody wants them. Just they're thrown out, and he was like, and Wii U is about to happen too. Nobody wants Wii U games
Yeah.
because the Switch is now a
It
thing.
was about to switch. Yeah.
So he's like, go to your local game shops and look through those because people are going to trade in their perfectly good, amazing condition Wii and Wii U games to get Switch games
Mm.
every time.
Yeah.
And he's not wrong. Like I went and I was like, holy shit, that guy was right.
Yeah.
So there's just yeah, just I'm getting real into it because I guess it once again sparked the love of video games because
Yeah.
it's like
That's
now
true.
I'm looking at them in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
To where now they hold value. They actually tangibly each one holds a specific value, and then you can see if you're getting a good deal and if it's a fair price. And yeah, it's just an interesting dynamic to introduce into the equation. Because beforehand, you think, oh, I'm going to pre-order a game. I'll go to the store. I'll pick it up. I'll buy it at Walmart. I'll,
Right.
whatever. Oh, it's a Steam sale. Let me get it. Yeah, I save some money. But there's no real thrill of the chase for that. Everything's kind of delivered to
Yeah.
you. But with here, you walk into the stores, you're kind of out and about in the world. You have a cup
You
of
don't know
coffee
what
in your
you're gonna
hand
get.
or whatever. And then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, shit, I see that. And that's a great deal. Let me buy that.
Mm.
But yeah, and just the fact that you can import stuff and that Retron 5 plays Japanese games and translates them is just, that's stupid. That type of technology is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm hoping, man, I got my fingers crossed. I'm excited about the next unboxing video for Video Games Monthly because I put Super Famicom on there and I gave them my wish list of all Japanese role-playing games that,
Okay.
that are not going to be very expensive. But like I might pass out if I unbox a copy of Chrono Trigger. Just because I've never owned a physical Super Nintendo copy of Chrono Trigger. I've never had it.
Really? Oh, okay.
Never. So
Yeah.
owning it, just owning the physical thing and being able to play it is I'm going to be like beside myself. Because I've had all the re-releases and the one on PS1 and then they made one for the DS that was really good. And of course on emulators, it's a perfect rendition of it. But there's something to be said about here is the thing. So if the emulator stops working, if I can't find any of the other re-releases, I have the real thing right here,
Right.
as it was originally intended.
Cool.
So yeah, but overall, just kind of I guess this was just like a waxing and nostalgic episode of Brothering Around. You know, we talked about the Sega stuff, which was kick ass. Yeah, all the game collecting and kind of that new side of the hobby. But yeah, it's interesting, and I think this is actually going to lead to a lot of really neat YouTube content. About, hey, I was at the store, I found this, I found these games, this is cool. Like, I am planning on doing a pickup video. I can't think of what to call it though. Just like, here's the stuff that I got over the past month.
As long as the store people not looking you funny.
Yeah, those managers that were eyeballing me. It was that one store though. They were like, I bet they thought I was like casing the joint.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
mob boss.
Yeah. I'm just going in there and I'm like, yeah, I'll be back here at midnight with a crowbar. I'll get all the games in my collection. But
the wet bandits.
Yeah. Sticky fingers.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the store that I worked at before, they were real chill with it. I was like, yeah, I'm just doing YouTube stuff. And they're like, oh yeah, dude, whatever. So then got to film. So, but yeah, I think that'll be a fun series. I'll do that maybe once a month. We'll just go out and have a talk at the town. And I was even thinking it would be fun to do it to where I have a $10 spending limit, and I have to get the best game I can. So like,
you're almost supermarket sweeping it.
That's right, man. So like a $10 limit, but what is the best? And I can't use my phone to look at Metacritic. I can't do any of that stuff. But what is the best game for like between the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo that I can get for $10? $9.95. Like I might go a little over on tax, or I might even make the stipulation that no, I have a $10 bill and I have to use this to buy it. And I can't have change, nothing. Like it has to be under $10 with tax, with everything. What is the best quality game I can get for $10? So, because that's, and that will change based on the region you're in. That'll change based on like what inventory your store has. So stuff like that, I think would be pretty fun. It would be something different. It would be, and some of it, people might not be into it, but I think it would bring in a whole new set of eyeballs.
For sure.
People are like, oh, for $10, what did he get? What game did he get?
Yeah. Yeah, like they'll watch the video until the end. It's like, oh, what did he get? Because you're not going to show like the first like 5 seconds into the video. And then,
well, I got this game. Thanks for watching. Yeah. Yeah, because it'll be the whole bit. It'll be me walking around a store and then me being like, okay, I have it between these 3 games and I can't decide. And then it could be me like literally saying, well, this game did this, but I like this, because then you're almost reviewing a game on the fly.
Pretty much.
Based on memory. And then you see if you made the right choice, and then people on YouTube are like, oh shit, you made the wrong choice, or hey, hell, that's a great pick for $10, or it just adds a different dynamic to it.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Yeah, man, a little waxing nostalgic,
Yeah.
It does good every once in a while. It's tough being cynical about everything all the time. It's sometimes it's nice about, actually enjoying the hobbies that we do.
Exactly.
There's too much hate out there. Kids, don't fall for that angry, ranty video game shit. Don't fall for it.
Too much critical talking.
Yeah, exactly. People are just too hard on everything, and hell, me and Brian Bolito always got made fun of for liking everything. I'm going to continue that trend of liking video games.
There you go.
I think that's a good way to go. I think liking video games is
I think that's okay.
Pretty safe bet, but that is our time here. That is Mr. Marco Flores. You can hit him up on Twitter, twitter.com/MarcoPolo177. Also, twitter.com/nerdinthebay. You can go to youtube.com/nerdinthebay to see all kinds of videos. Oh my God, you've been a rock star.
I have some tech I have yet to showcase, but I'm waiting for the right moment.
Oh, hey. Some sizzler right there.
Yep.
A little teaser.
You can kind of see it in previous videos, like now a little bit, but
yeah,
I've yet to showcase the thing that is the thing that is gonna up the ante in on the channel. So
interesting. Now I might pick your brain about that. So yeah, now I'm really intrigued. And of course, I'm Mr. Kami the Hobo. You can go to kamidahobo.com for all the Brother and Around show notes, all the YouTube archives of the show. You can hit me up on Twitter, twitter.com/kamidahobo, and also freaking on Facebook, crazy, facebook.com/kamidahobo. Yeah, we're taking questions. I'm going to be doing a Q&A episode of Kamilog pretty soon. So send in those questions. It can be anything and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is going to be our time. That's episode 20, what was it, 8? 29?
I am actually, you know what, let me look. We're gonna look now. Because I was actually confused in the middle of me doing Howard Finkel.
The Fink, yeah.
The Fink. Let's see.
Be careful for that choke slam.
Choke slam. You'll go 1-on-1 with Kane.
With the Undertaker.
Undertaker. Let's see. We are at, so last week was episode 27. So this is 28.
28. Beautiful. On the record.
Yeah,
official.
2 away from 30.
20. Oh, man. We're getting there. Holy crap. Oh, we're going to have to think of something for a 50 special.
50.
Man, that's coming 50? Quick.
Okay.
Anyway, that means we're almost a year in, dude.
Oh, crazy. Awesome. Yeah.
Crazy, crazy. All right. But that's our time, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Of course, check out kamidahobo.com, of course, for all those show notes and stuff. But we're going to see you guys next week. Until then, take it easy, and we'll see you later. Peace.
Bye.